Boys season finale caps off a stellar 10 out of 10 season of television with an incredible 11 out of 10 episode. This season was truly perfection. I mean, come on man, Homelander is done for, our remaining heroes get a happy ending, Vought is still around to continue their bullshit in peace, Soldier Boy is sleeping nice and snug awaiting whatever show is next for him.
Because that's what she would have wanted.
What a beautiful ending for the boys. I truly wouldn't want it to be any other way. Okay, please don't allow my sarcasm to let you think that this season and season finale was trash, because it's not. It's not Game of Thrones, Dexter, or Stranger Things level of bad. However, this final season of The Boys was truly a weird experience for me. Considering that this was supposed to be the final season of The Boys, I did find it a bit underwhelming. I can't find it in my heart to hate it, because if I look at the individual episodes leading up to the series finale, I either thought that those episodes were alright or I just straight up enjoyed them. I mean, how often can you look at the final season of a show, enjoy the episodes for the most part, and then end up liking the final episode of the entire show but still feel as if that something was off? For me personally, episode 5 was my favorite episode of the season. Valerie's performance as Firecracker in this episode was nothing short of spectacular. It honestly might have been the best performance of this entire season. But despite me enjoying this episode, the idea of looking at the Seven's lives and fleshing out their characters was something that should have been executed in a prior season. For me, this isn't an episode that you throw in halfway through your final season. Of course, I have no issue with them doing this individually for Firecracker in this final season, but for the whole 7, they could have been done this shit. Not to get too far off track here, but if you look at Breaking Bad, the universally weakest episode that people point to is the Fly episode. Now call me a Breaking Bad fanboy because this is my favorite show of all time. Yeah, go ahead and call me a basic bitch. But if Breaking Bad had another episode that was on par with the Fly episode deep into the final season of the show, people would have been pissed, and rightfully so. And again, I'm saying this as the person who enjoyed that episode. It honestly felt like the boys were just testing new shit during that final stretch of the show. And maybe that's why it sort of made the urgency of this final season feel weak. Which is probably also why, despite me liking this season and the season finale, it still felt kinda weird. It always felt like more should have been happening. And no, I'm not talking about a soup fight every episode. It also didn't help that I spent 2 seasons watching Gen V and thinking that these characters were gonna have a role to play in the final season of The Boys. Hell, I even remember saying in a previous video how people would be mad if these side characters came in and easily defeated Homelander, because that would have happened. Especially if all it took were 3 semi-competent soups who could tank a few hits from Homelander. I'm being so real when I say this shit right here. I'm not trying to rile anyone up or rage bait anyone here, but for real. With how Butcher, Ryan, and Kimiko were able to handle Homelander here, you're telling me that we couldn't even swap out Kimiko and just have Jordan Lee in there beating the fuck out of Homelander? Yes, I understand Homelander is supposed to be stronger than everyone in this room, even if I swap out Jordan Lee for Kimiko. But that man Homelander put up a better fight when it was just Butcher and Soldier Boy against him, along with Huey, but still. This man Homelander seriously would not stand a chance against Emma, Jordan, and Marie. I am so serious when I say this shit. Jordan would box his head off and have him sitting down for a 1-2 count. Emma could just sit down on his ass. And then Marie takes her time in blowing up his heart. And that's exactly why these characters were not utilized in this final season. This shit would have been too easy. Having the Gen V characters be involved would have made this season finale really underwhelming. And what a shame, because given how Gen V is cancelled, this feels like it was all pointless, which soured my experience even more. Moving on to my GOAT Soldier Boy, I was disappointed in how they handled him. Now this might be an unpopular opinion, I have no idea, but I felt that Soldier Boy was the best part of this season besides Homelander. Feel however you want to feel about his choices that he made this season, but it made sense to me. Or maybe I'm just biased and gay for Jensen Ackles. I don't like how we spent so much time watching Soldier Boy only for him to be put back on ice in the ending. Like, what was the point? To create all of this V1 chaos? Seriously? That's it? I'm not mad that I got more Soldier Boy this season, but this shit didn't feel necessary. But hey, I guess there's gonna be another show featuring him anyway, so if his whole purpose this season was to get me to like him more than I already did by the end of season 3, they accomplished it. Okay, now these points right here are just straight nitpicking bullshit, but you always gotta love power inconsistencies. Homelander glides across a room, fractions of a second at the notice of a tapping sound. At this point, that man is moving around like he's the Reverse Flash. Then he can also send a man all the way to outer space in a few seconds. Yet somehow he has a difficult time escaping the fucking White House? Really? I'm not even mad at this, honestly. There has to be a way to defeat him, so I'm not gonna harp on this too much, but this just shows why super speed is bullshit whenever it's being written. But you wanna know the wildest part of the entire series finale? It was finding out that Huey named his unborn child Robin. Yeah, after his dead girlfriend, and Annie is just fine with it. Hey man, shout out to her, I guess. But one time I slipped and fell for a stupid trap of agreeing with my girlfriend at the time that the other woman that she was talking about was gorgeous, and I got in trouble just for agreeing with her. So for Huey to go through and get Annie to be okay with him calling his unborn child after his dead girlfriend is absolutely insane, and I'm not buying it. Shit, the only thing more insane than that was learning that Ashley got impeached. Yeah, what unrealistic bullshit. We all know presidents who get involved in messy bullshit can't get impeached, so I'm calling bullshit on that as well. Anyway, despite all of these minor complaints, I was satisfied with the conclusion to the boys' story. I know a lot of people shat on Sage all the way back from her introduction to the story, but I enjoyed seeing her be freed from her genius intellect. She went from wanting the world to burn while she could be the only one left to be all alone and reading, to wanting to enjoy life. Apparently being one of the smartest minds in the world means that you're the most miserable as well. Would I have been fine with her getting punishment for everything that she's done? Sure, but am I also okay that someone who did some pretty bad shit can walk away scot-free? Yes, I don't need every aspect of a story to be neat. Sometimes people just get away with all the bullshit that they've done. Even though we've lost Frenchie in the second to last episode, I still felt that we were gonna lose MM or Kimiko by the end. But I'm not a person who needs the majority of the cast to be butchered to feel like something eventful actually happened, so that's pretty whatever for me as well. I will say that it was pretty damn nice to see that the Deep remained the same idiot who never had a good look in the mirror all the way to his final moment in this show. God, it was nice. Homelander went out like a little bitch boy that we all know he is, giving one of the most disgustingly pathetic final moments that I've ever seen from a big bad. And Butcher pretty much went out the same way I expected him to, because even in a moment of peace with a small victory, he believes that he has a mission that he must see till the very end. So yeah, these three right here all had pretty fitting ends. I want to say that people are probably going to be pissed at how Homelander went out, but his death was pretty damn perfect. This man-child of a soup ends up seeing and believing himself to be a god. He gets stripped of his powers that he used to claim his god status, and then reveals the pathetic man-child that we all know him as. We see him exactly for who he is in his final moments, and it's a ugly sight. Honestly, it was the most satisfying death that I've seen in a long time. He went out like a bitch. I don't see a better ending for his character. This season wasn't season 3 or season 1 levels of good, but it also wasn't season 4 levels of bad either. It's in a weird spot, but does any of that matter when I look at the totality of the boys? I think it still stuck the landing despite the season not having enough urgency for me. Anyway, before I end this video, I gotta go off on a quick little rant right here. The precedent of shows only having 8 episodes needs to stop. Enough is enough. Shout out to Buffy the Vampire back in the day, back when shows had 24 episodes a season, back when shows had actual filler episodes, not like today when people are bored with an episode and automatically label it as filler. Shout out to those shows back in the day that used their filler episodes to make some creative shit. No lie, Buffy the Vampire still got a bunch of these shows wiped down today, and this shit is over 20 years old. Look, I'm not saying that shows should all be 24 episodes a season, okay? But I thought that the 10 or 12 episode seasons were alright. If a story for a season that's being told needs a little bit more or less than 10 or 12 episodes, fine. But to be confined to 8 episodes feels restrictive. I'm also not saying that there aren't some shows out there that can get by with just 8 episodes a season. But for every damn near show today to only do 8 episodes is really annoying, especially when it's clear as day that a show needs an extra 2 episodes to fully bake. Human civilizations have evolved. You're telling me today that we can order butt plugs to our doorsteps within hours, but we can't allow stories to go past an 8 episode window? Really? Are we being serious? What the hell have we become? Why are we regressing as a society? Enough of this 8 episode bullshit.